My name is Jeremy McAllister. I'm the IT manager for the Viking Union and a member of the Viking Union Tech Services team. I'm going to present to you some brief tutorials on how to access technologies used by the associated students and the Viking Union student employees. In today's training video, we're going to go over how to access the myriad of technologies used by the AS and the VU. We're going to go over how to access Office 365, how to access your Outlook shared mailbox, which is commonly used by student employees in the AS and the VU. We're going to go how to access Microsoft Teams and to use its various apps built into Teams. We're going to go over how to access Wagtail on the AS website. Wagtail is the new content management system for editing content on the web pages. We're also going to go over how to access the Q drive. We'll go over how to access Win.wwu.edu, which is a student engagement platform heavily used by the AS programs and is brought to you by Anthology. Hello, here's how we're going to access Office 365 at Western Washington University. The easiest way to get there is to go to the website, which I'm sure most of you know about already, mywestern.wwu.edu. Let's go type in the web address and enter. It's going to load up. You'll notice right here at the top of the page that you have an icon for Office 365. Go ahead and open that. You will notice if you scroll down the page that Western has a lot of internal use resources. So let's just go to Office 365. Once you have clicked on the link, you'll be generally brought to a login screen. If you've already logged into Office 365 on a device before, it'll show your previously logged in account. We're going to log in with another account. When you log into Office 365, just make sure to use your Universal Western account and ID to log in with. So I'll type mine in here, and we'll go to next. Go ahead and enter your password. Now, a new thing is, if you've signed up for multi-factor authentication, you'll often be requested to go and get an answer to a text message, or if you use the Microsoft Authenticator app, you can go there and authenticate your login. This is a new security feature for Microsoft Office 365 environment, and it is not rolled out to everybody yet, but it soon will be. So just so you become familiar with it, I'm going to grab my phone, use the Authenticator app, and then all of a sudden, now the website has said, yes, you are you. And now you can do this and select do not show this again, click yes, and log in. Here we are. Here's the landing page for Office 365. I'll go over some of the various features that are important to know where they are and how to use them and locate them. Over here on the left, you have a navigation bar of the most commonly used applications. You have Word, Excel, PowerPoint. The ones we use heavily in the AS and the VU, we have Outlook, OneDrive, and Teams. You've also got People and Power Automate. There's myriad applications. If you want to see your full portfolio of apps that you have readily available for you, go up there into the App Launcher, 9-dot menu up at the top, and they'll show you a list of applications that you have licensed for you to use in Office 365. If you go over to the far right here, you'll have an account information and profile information. This is good if you can go right here and you can select a photo if you'd like to, and upload a photo so you have a photo instead of your initials for your icon. Another important thing to note is to go over to the gear icon to the right here, select that, and you'll pull up the settings menu. Now the settings menu is useful when you're in other applications, and we'll show you how to access those once you're inside of Outlook per se or Teams. In the center of the page, you'll have some recommended documents. These are generally documents that you've opened recently, things that you were commonly working on, documents that people have shared with you. You can filter out all sorts of stuff here. It's really a great function that is, like, if you don't remember where you saved something or where it was stored, you can always go here and find what you've most recently been working on or what's been emailed to you. Last but not least, you'll notice that you have an Install Office button up here. Now, what this does is this allows every student and every employee to download the desktop versions of the Microsoft Office suite of apps. While they're somewhat limited in number, it's generally the top 6 or 7 most commonly used apps, and you're able to install those on your own personal device or onto a university device if you so need. Now it's time to open up our Outlook. Let's go to left here in the Office 365 portal. Let's go to the Outlook icon, open that up. Okay, as you can see, you've got your inbox here, you have your folders on the left. Pretty standard fare. Notifications pop up for upcoming events. All right, in the upper right-hand corner, we'll have some features that we'll show you in the Outlook that will be useful for everybody. Commonly, AS and VU student employees need to access what's called a shared mailbox. A shared mailbox is a neutral email account that is accessed by either one or multiple people that will use a title, let's say like AS Concerts Coordinator. So you can send out email with that name, you receive email to that address and access it. I'll show you how to do that. If you go to the upper right, you go where your icon is, either you uploaded a photo there or it's your initials. Go to scroll down a little bit to what's open another mailbox. It's right here. Let's open another mailbox. That's going to open up a prompt. Now this will kind of use basic search terms, or if you know your explicit email address, go ahead and use that directly. So in the AS, most email addresses start with AS. So let's look up AS Concerts. Oh, there it is. Type it in a little bit, as.concert, and then it shows up. For the VU programs or student employees, same thing, just start with VU and work your way from there. Okay, let's open this. And if you've been granted access to this mailbox, we should be able to open it up from here. So click open. And here we go. There's an email right here in this shared mailbox. We'll go over some other brief functions of Outlook as well that could be useful to you. In the upper right-hand corner, again, we'll go over to the gear icon this time, some settings. We'll open this up. Not a whole lot's in here. You've got some display functions and you can change your color, put backgrounds, do some fun stuff like that. The important stuff's down here at the bottom. View all Outlook settings. Let's go ahead and click that, open this up. Now here you have some mailbox management tools that you can utilize. Commonly, people will like to address like the way that Outlook is laid out. You can choose different features. You can choose how mail behaves. Also, in the next option, compose and reply, this is where you go to put your email signature. The AS website has an email signature generator, and we'll post that link down below. You can generate that email signature, copy, paste it, place it here, save it. Pretty straightforward. Another good feature of Outlook 365 is, say you're going away for a week for the holidays and you're like, you want to put on some automatic replies. You can go down here, go to automatic replies, turn these on, set your date range that you want to have your automatic replies go out to people who are sending you email and you're not going to answer in a timely manner. Put your messaging here as to why you're not going to be responding or when you'll be returning. You can set custom date ranges for this to turn on and off. This is a very useful feature. Then the last bit is, we'll discard that. Last bit is enable forwarding. You can go and have emails sent to the shared mailbox and have it auto forwarded to another email address. Now we're going to go over the second main feature of Outlook, which is the calendar. Once you're in Outlook, if you go to the left over here, you'll see that there's a little calendar looking icon. Go ahead and click that. Let's open that up. Microsoft has recently upgraded this calendar features, and now it's kind of more of they call it a board. So you'll have your traditional Outlook calendar here with your events, stuff to do, things you have on the works, things coming up in this week. You can change and filter your different week and time and views to be either a schedule, or if you want it to be a week or month long. You can also set up tasks for yourself on the task board here. You can say add task, complete ASVU video. Okay, I'll add that. It shows up as a task, and you can start and click it and mark it done when you're done. You also have like a brief schedule view here. Sometimes this is a little bit easier to see what you've got going on for the day. Okay, and then you have some tips and some how-to on these board functions. And you can also click and add up here in the upper left-hand side. You can add features to this board. So we can say, I want to add a little weather applet to this board. We'll put in Bellingham postal code. And now we can always have the weather and know what the weather is going to be like for the next few days. So there's some cool features into how Outlook Calendar works. Now we're going to go open Microsoft Teams. You have numerous ways that you can access Teams. You can go to the Office 365 portal, which we've covered earlier, and open Teams on the left-hand column. Or you can search in the bottom start menu for Microsoft Teams for the desktop version. We'll take a look at the desktop version now. Microsoft Teams has many functions that we use in the VU. We use it as our telephone system, and we also use it for saving and sharing files and collaboration work. Here's a couple of features that we're going to go over. We're going to talk about call queues, what they are, how to access them, what the Shifts app is if your team uses that, how to save files, how to look at files, look at individual teams, and also how to sync files to both Finder on Mac and File Explorer in Windows to make the experience more like a traditional file server on your desktop. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is call queues. What is a call queue, you may ask? A call queue is a departmental phone number that will be associated with either your AS or VU department, and you'll be assigned to this call queue, and you have to turn those off and on. Those aren't on by default. At the VU and AS workstations, there should be a headset made available to you with a microphone built in that you can utilize for telephone calls that may come in. That will come through Microsoft Teams. To take a look, let's go in the upper right-hand corner again. Go to the option menu, which is 3 dots, and you'll see that there's settings. Go ahead and click settings. Let's open this up. You'll come to a screen here. Here you can make some various settings. You can go to devices here, make sure that your headphone device and your audio device is selected and functioning properly. You can make a test call to yourself. The Teams system will call your device to make sure that your audio and your microphone is working correctly. And you can check your camera, make sure everything is going well. Okay, there's some other functions as well here to check out. But for call queues, you need to go down to calls here on the left, right here. Right there, there's calls. And you'll look here and there's some functionality for behavior and calls. But if you're a member of a call queue successfully, you'll see your list of call queues here. Right here, you can see VU Information Technology Support 4765. That's the extension number here. You can turn this off or on, you toggle it. So we're going to toggle that on. And what that does is that's saying that now I have this turned on. When anybody calls this phone number, it's going to go through the Teams VoIP system. And then you can receive that call via that method. To make any outgoing calls, you go to the Calls app here on the left column, right? And you'll have the traditional telephone dial pad, or you can try to search for users in your history list, or you can select up here in the top and look for contacts, and you can find anybody throughout Western Washington University's address book. Calls is pretty straightforward. If you have any parked calls, like someone has parked a call, then you can select this button and it'll show you calls that are waiting in queue to be picked up and answered. The next function of Teams that we're going to briefly go over is shifts. This, depending on if your team uses this, Shifts is a scheduling application built into Teams. Right here, you can see that the VU Tech Services team uses Shifts, and we use this to put on our weekly work shifts and manage them. If there's any more questions about this or you need some further details, please have your supervisor reach out to the VU Tech Services team for any training that may need to be had, but it's pretty straightforward and easy to use. Now we'll go over some of the main functions of Teams. Okay. Right now we have, you go up to the Teams button right here in the upper left, and you'll see that any teams that you're a member of will start to show up in this list here. As moving forward, we'll be having departmental Microsoft Teams for every AS program and department and VU team as well. And you'll likely be a member of those and participate in those. And as such, you can go into your teams, click your team. I'm going to pick mine, VU Tech Services, and I'll give you a basic navigation of it. Up here, we have posted some web links. You can do this for every one of your teams if you like, or the admin of your team can. And you can put some useful websites and stuff like this up in the upper nav link right up at the top here. You have what's called the main area of the page here. So anytime you select a section here, we'll go to Files. Right? And this is one of the main functions of Teams, is you can use this to store all your documents and save them as needed for official documentation for your departments. One cool feature to do is to press the sync button. Now what sync does, it's getting ready to sync. And what it'll do is it'll show up in Finder and File Explorer, and you can access it through those things. So if I go to Finder, for example, I'll open this up over here. So I'm using a Mac right now, but if I go here, it'll show up here on the left once you finish the configuration of the sync and show up as Western Washington University. And then you'll start to look for your team in there. So I have, this is the VU Tech Services team. And then I go in here, and as you'll notice, there is a one-to-one relationship in here. So if you prefer the traditional location of where files are stored via either Finder for Mac or for the File Explorer, the little yellow folder in Windows, then you can do the sync button here, activate that, go through the process, sign in, and then you'll have it in your traditional location where you can store files. This makes it useful for doing drag and drop features, like say from a desktop into Teams libraries here, and so you can store documents that way. Those are some useful tips. Teams is a very useful tool, and our use for it will only increase moving forward in the AS and VU organization. So I urge everybody to get really comfortable with it and to leverage as much as they can out of the application. All right, we can move down and we go to Calendar, and Teams right here on the left has a great calendar system. Any changes that you make in this Teams calendar will automatically sync into Outlook and vice versa. Again, so you will have some one-to-one relationship between what's done on the Teams calendar and what's done on the Outlook calendar. Very useful features that are built into Teams. Now we're going to briefly go over how to access the Q drive, if you've heard that term. What the Q drive is a shared folder that is on our network on a server in the VU, and it is mapped to the letter Q. That's the name. And so it is a, we'll show you how to access it really quick. So what you want to do on a VU machine or an AS machine in the building, you should immediately have access to the Q drive when you log in. So let's go here. Let's open. Once you've logged into a computer, go to File Explorer, which is a little yellow folder icon. Okay, and then you want to go down to, on the left-hand side in the navigation, you'll go to this PC. This generally will be open once you log in and ready to go. And you'll scroll down and you'll see something that says Union //VU-NAS. That's the name of the server that the Q drive is on. And you'll see Q : right there. That's the Q drive. That's what's being referenced here. This is a file share that's on a server in the VU. Depending on your access level, you'll generally be taken to the working folder for most programs, but places like the Publicity Center and other things will have different access for that. So you go into working. Working is, and you'll see there's many different programs have files here, either legacy or current. And to note that we will, as an org, be migrating over to Teams to store most of our files. There'll be some exception departments or users, but generally Teams files will be the new location for most daily file use and storage. And that's how you access the Q drive when you're in the building. Now, if you're trying to access the Q drive at home on a personal device, it's much different and a few extra steps that are needed. First, you'll need to have VPN installed on the device and have it running. And you can go to VPN by going to securevpn.ww.edu in your web browser, signing in, downloading the Cisco AnyConnect client, and logging in. That will successfully connect VPN on your device at home to where then you can go to the File Explorer again, and then you would open up File Explorer. And what you'll need to do is go to your C drive or this PC, and you'll need to manually map a drive if you're doing this on your own device. Don't know how many people need to do this, but if you do, here's how you do it. You would go to Map Network Drive. On your own computer, you would select a drive that you want. Let's say the Q is already mapped for us on my work machine here, but you would select Q, and then you would add in this address right here, VUNet /VU-NAS/union as the location for it, and then you can get access to that. There are detailed instructions on the A2S help page that I'll share in the links of this video. Now we're going to talk about how to edit the AS website. Certain teams will have access to edit the content that's on their website, on the AS website. And each team generally has a web page that they'll have important information you need to share out to the student population about. And so I'll show you how to do that really quickly here. Okay, so we're going to go up in our web browser, go up to as.www.edu//CMS. That stands for Content Management System. Okay, so we're going to go here. We're going to go in right here. Now, normally you'll be brought to a login page. You'll want to log in with your WWU account and password, not your AS email account or anything like that. You're going to want to use your single sign-on password. Once you've done that, then you'll be taken to the landing page, and you'll see welcome to the WWU AS Wagtail CMS, the Content Management System. So I'll go over some basic navigation and how to edit pages and upload them. Okay. So the first thing you'll want to add is you go here, go to Pages on the left-hand side, and you notice that the root of the directory is AS of WWU. So we'll click that. You can click on the name itself, or we can go back here. So let's go to Page, or you can click on this caret that's called right there, aiming to the right, and you can let's step into there. And what that's going to do is that's going to drill down. That's going to drill down into the directory of the AS website. And so let's look for your page. Say I'm with the info fair, and I'd like to edit the info fair page. So you want to go and find it here. You're like, oh, here it is. Okay. Now you can view this live. You can edit, or if you have permissions, you can add a sub page for that. We don't recommend that right away, but you can do that if you need to display more content. So let's go to edit. And now once you hover over edit, you'll notice that you have the edit button here, but you also have this here, right? So let's the arrow. So in Wagtail, it's commonly, if you need to keep navigating, there's often an orange caret or an arrow shape on the right-hand side of every column that you go to. Let's go here. And you'll notice that there are two child pages here for the info fair. You have clubs and sponsor pages. And say you want to make an edit to the clubs page. You need to add a club to the information there. So let's go to edit, click the edit button. And what you're going to see here is that you'll see what's called a rich text field editor. So you want to just kind of type make your changes here. Let's say you need to add another sentence here like this, and you say, okay. And let's see, you want to go down here and maybe add some more information. You can do more text. Please note, when you're editing the page, you have some functionality here in the, see, this is the text editing feature. So you can bold things, you can make things italicized, you can give things a heading size. So generally, headers at the top of the page, you want to be H2 for main sections and H3 and 4 for subsections of the page. You can do a numbered list, a bulleted list here. You can do a divider line. That's what this flat line is, horizontal line. So if you want a little neat line under the title like that to help kind of keep the formatting clean, you can add that there. And you do that just by putting your cursor here, kind of like using Word or anything, word editing program like that. You can upload videos. You can do a return space to give more spacing between the characters. This is where you put in hyperlinks, is the little link chain icon. And so you need to put like a link for another, you say like, sign up for this mail here, like that, and you can then put the URL and link it to there so it's a hyperlink. You can upload documents to here, so if you need to upload a file of some sort. And also this is right here is where you do images. You would upload an image, much like what's been done here. Some people had uploaded images that they'd taken and put on there. Then when you're done with all your edits that you need to change, you can save your draft. Down here at the very bottom, you'll have a menu options here. Go ahead and click on the caret, and then you'll see that you have some options based on your permissions or what you have to edit the page. You can publish the page, you can save the draft, you can lock this page so it can't be edited unless you unlock it. There's a delete. Don't be careful using that. Only use it when absolutely necessary. You can unpublish a page if there's something with a bunch of errors, you need to fix it and take some time you don't want, or you publish some information that wasn't meant to be published. You can unpublish it and then republish it. So once you publish those changes, you can click publish. And then up here, you'll say, hey, your changes have been published. View them live. Now, some users will see a thing that says push to moderators. And moderators are a select group of people that would look over your edits through the page and make sure that spelling is correct and that there's no major grammatical issues or incorrect information. If you have that as your option instead of directly publishing live to the web, go ahead and use that, and then a moderator will push your edits to the website and have them go live. That's generally the main use cases that the student programs will use for AS, which is called Wagtail, the content management system. There's some other features in here. You can upload images and documents to be used again in your website. So if you're building a website out, you can upload them first and then link them into your web pages as needed. It's just different methodology of doing it. If you only use the page editors to upload files and documents inside the page editor, it'll do the same thing as well. And then there's some settings information, but most of you will not see those. So yeah, that's Wagtail. It's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. We're pleased with it, how it works so far. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach back out about it. Now we're going to go over Win and how to access it. You might ask, what is Win? Win is a student engagement platform that the AS and the VU utilizes to manage basic functions and documentation for anything from orgs to clubs to events and forms. And there's many use cases for it, and it'll be used often in your work in the AS and the Viking Union student employment realms. So to access the website, let's go here. It's win.wwu.edu. And you notice a page right here in the landing page. There's you have home, events, organization, news, and forms. You can search for information in here. You can find organizations like the AS or clubs or any sort of events that you have info on. You can attend events that you can see around you. You can track involvement of those events. There's some public events here. that are from all over campus. Doesn't necessarily have to be just AS events. There'll be lots of club activities and stuff in here. You'll have news information that gets pushed out from the AS programs. You'll have some useful campus links down here in the lower right-hand side. This is great stuff here. This has a lot of useful information. And then you have your sign-in button in the upper right. So let's go into sign-in. Okay, sign in with your universal password, account and password. Okay, I have multi-factor authentication turned on for myself. I encourage everyone to sign up for that. But I'm going to go approve myself, do the application again. Then once the app on your secondary device has approved it, then you'll continue on with the login process. And you'll notice here that it looks pretty similar. A little different view, but not terribly different. You'll have the news items here. You'll have the memberships of the orgs that you were in once you signed in. If you have questions with those, please, feel free to reach out, and we can get you assigned to the right organization. We'll click over here. You can look at the events. You can search through events for days, for branches. So you can look for events from the housing department, Western departments, or the AS. You can go through the organization browser and find clubs and organizations that you would like to get involved with or find out more information about. Again, you have the news items here. These are pushed out from the org. And you can, if you click on those, you'll read more detail about the information, dates, times, locations, so all that stuff for all the events and all the things being pushed out. And in here you have forms, and these are forms, documents used by clubs and departments in the AS, and often you'll be referenced to forms in Win, and this is what they're talking about. They'll be located here. And there you have 3 different main modes of Win to access. Generally, most people will only have the Explore. If you're a supervisor or have elevated functions in Win, you'll have the Manage, and then the admin functions are for a select few in our department. That's a general overview of how to access Win. I'm sure you've all received quite a bit of detailed training on everything that's involved with the application. Thanks, everybody. Hope you had a good time watching this video. If you have any further questions, please feel free to email VU Tech Services, and to also go to our website, vu.wwu.edu/get-help. Again, that's vu.wwu.edu/get-help. Thank you. Goodbye.